Hello, welcome back to another Agency Connect podcast. I'm Sunir Shah, CEO of AppBind. I'm here with Stefano Mini from Active Powered, a very exciting uh, person in general. I just love talking to him before, but he has actually a really cool agency model that I think everyone could learn from, even if you're not exactly in the active campaigns universe that he is in. He's done something, I think, brilliant. Stefano, thanks for being here, and please introduce yourself.
Hello, Sunir. Nice to be here. So, yeah, Stefano Mini here. I'm Italian, but I live in Finland as of June, more or less. Nice, cold, very snowy at the moment. And as you mentioned, I own this agency, Active Powered, and we focus on working with the software Active Campaign. So we specialize in Active Campaign and providing both support, as you mentioned, and strategy for customer experience automation with Active Campaign for businesses in Italy.
So, not many agencies focus entirely on being in front of another product that has its own support teaming. Active Campaign has a really strong customer service attitude. I mean, I've met them many, many times. So, what was the opportunity you saw, and why does it work for you?
Well, the opportunity I saw back in, it was, I think, 2015, 2016, was that back then, Active Campaign was starting to become popular in Italy. It was not as popular as it is now, not even close. But, people and marketers was more connected to the North American market, were starting to use it and really like it. Like, the reviews were so much better than any competitors at the time, but they didn't provide customer support in Italian. In 2016, until recently, customer support for Active Campaign was only in English. And most Italians don't speak English at all. So I saw a niche, I saw a need, and I went to try to fulfill that need of customer support in Italian. Of course, since then, Active Campaign has started to actually provide customer support in Italian. So we transitioned from just customer support to providing a full array of services, both technical services, so implementation, API, custom objects, stuff like that, and strategic, so all the customer experience strategy and funnels and stuff for our customers. So we diversified in those services, but we still stay true to our Active Campaign roots. And the reason for that is that, there are two reasons. One is that in the Italian market, Active Powered is right now synonym with Active Campaign. People know us for Active Campaign. We were the first to actually build an agency on top of Active Campaign to provide Italian customer support for Active Campaign. So that's what people know us for in Italy, especially in the digital marketing niche. And it doesn't make any sense to try to row against the stream, just row with the stream. And the second reason is that I believe that most entrepreneurs don't realize how high the potential is even for small niches. My niche is, okay, we do Active Campaign and customer experience automation with Active Campaign for Italian businesses. And many colleagues will be like, oh no, that's a tiny niche. How can you make money in that tiny niche? But what I believe is that there is so much more money to make in any tiny niche than most people believe. So it suits us just fine. Like, of course, it will never become $100 million business, but I don't need $100 million. So we stayed with, Active Campaign.
Yeah. So first, we should get into some basic commercials, just to give other people where you are in the agency world. So, first, how many employees do you have?
I have, if I remember right, 10 full-time and 1 part-time at the moment.
Wow, it's amazing. And how long did it take you to hire your first employee? Because you started in 2016, is that right?
I started in early spring 2016, yeah. And My first hire was basically as soon as I could justify it, because I had another business at the time, and I had a part-time employee at that other business, which I needed, and I just asked him to just increase like a couple hours a day his work for me and work in my this other business, Active Powered, to help me manage customer support mostly, so I could focus on marketing and growing the actual business, the actual agency.
So how long did it take you? Sorry, like from outside?
Oh, it took me a few months, not long at all.
Yeah, that's great.
Maybe 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, that's wild. And then, I always ask this question as well. It's helpful to know, like, like, how long do you keep your clients? Are they short term or long term clients? Like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 6 months?
Those are very long term clients, because my idea is that, especially in first, when we were doing mostly reselling of Active Campaign, how long clients stay with you. There is a technical term for that. I can't remember it. Help me soon here. Of how long a client stays with you, the lifetime value. Yeah.
Yep.
That is everything. Like, the lifetime value is everything, and how long clients stay with you, especially in a SaaS, because you keep getting money over and over from those clients. So we used customer support and excellent customer support as the number one marketing tool, because that allowed us to keep customers that joined in 2016. Most of them are still with us, and over the time, like, the clients that we acquire, like, they stay year over year, both in the Active Campaign side as we resell the software, but also in the agency. In the agency, it's very common that we implement a plan for our clients, and then they stay with us and they let us manage their marketing and their customer experience flows basically forever, and they don't have any intention to leave us. Of course, it's not always a perfect fit, but to me, the most important metric is lifetime value and, like, to minimize churn rate. So great customer support, great offers for the long term. And I mean, great customer support also is very important for word of mouth. We get so many customers through word of mouth that I think that customer support is our highest ROI marketing campaign.
Always is. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants to. Like, there's so much mediocre stuff in the world, right? And, like, everyone wants to recommend to their friends someone who actually blew their socks off, was really a great experience, and such an undervalued part still to this day in SaaS customer service. I should ask you though, how much has Active Campaign helped you by delivering you clients? If you are the number one Italian agency, like, how much of your client flow comes from Active Campaign?
Almost none, frankly. Sometimes Active Campaign sends us some customers that are interested in strategy, since Active Campaign doesn't do strategy, they only provide the software. Sometimes they send some clients our way, but I would say that of all our clients, less than 1% came from Active Campaign, and the rest, 99+% came from our own marketing.
That's so wild. I would think they would send all their Italian customers to you if you're the one for all these years providing Italian support. Do you have any insight about why that went that way? Was that a choice of your own not to invest in that, or just there's no opportunity particularly?
I don't know why they don't. Like, we don't get any customers from Active Campaign. I guess that people that search for Active Campaign and land on the Active Campaign website are interested in the software and never even think about the strategy. They know they don't provide strategy, so they don't even ask. And since they don't ask, of course, Active Campaign doesn't send them our way. So people that are interested in strategy, they follow other maybe businesses like influencer and stuff, and we sponsor those influencer, and then those customers come to us. So I think that's the reason they just don't ask ActiveCampaign to provide strategy for them, because they already know that they don't.
That's interesting. And like actually on that note, like you said, you had to expand services over time, and I'm just interested, like how much of your, this is a very common thing. You have like some hero package, some services that are the ones that bring the clients through the door, and then you upsell them. Is that how, like what is your number one selling thing now, and like how many of your clients are being upsold into the like the bigger implementation package, marketing and management packages?
Well, right now the best selling are the technical packages. So the package that includes the software with customer support and implementation, technical implementation, and API and customization, and setup and ongoing training. That is, I would say, over 80%, and the remaining is the strategic side. So setting up the strategy. But that's a much more recent endeavor for us. So when people find out that we do it, maybe they check our website or they need to contact customer support and we tell them, they are very interested, but because it's not nearly as old and historic for us as the technical side, it's less popular at the moment.
That's pretty interesting. I mean, I imagine these are all pretty high margin packages because you've been doing it for quite some time.
Yeah, they are high margin. I think that for every product that you sell, the margin should at least be double. So, like, if the cost of delivering the service is more than 50% of the actual price of the service, then you don't really have much margin to grow. So for me, it's very important to always keep that high margin and profit margin.
That's such an interesting pin of focused on keeping your margins under 50 or over 50% as like a hard line when you're evaluating these things. How do you know what your margins are, and what happens? Has it ever happened that you went over that mark and you had to fix something?
Over, you mean that costs went over?
Yeah, the costs went
profit?
too high. Yeah. I'm curious. Like that's a pretty interesting point as an agency owner to go. Yeah, I need to keep 50% margins or more, or this is not working. Most agencies don't think about this stuff like that I've talked to. That is pretty wise. And
yeah, so many agencies only think about the bottom line, about the revenue, and they don't care how much it costs to get to that revenue, which is a very VC way of thinking, VC funded way of thinking. If you have free money from investors, you don't care about the cost of that revenue. But if you're tight on money because you don't have any investors and they never raised or even wanted to raise any money, then it becomes so much more important than only revenue. And yeah, it happened many times that the margin was below that, because when you start out, you know that it's not very optimized what you are doing. You know that the margin is much lower than it will be in the future because you're just trying things out. I'm a big believer of just trying something and see if it works, and start from there and work out a better way if you see that there is a chance of success. So back when Active Power started, the margin was far below that 50%. It was maybe I had 10-15% margin, something like that. And from there, I optimized and I improved. And when I started the strategy side, so providing strategy and funnels and customer flows and managing customer flows, customer experience for our clients, the margin was horrible. It was breaking even at best. And now the margins are starting to grow because we understand what are the best services that we provide, what we can sell at a higher price because it provides a higher value for the customer and a lower cost for us. We are cutting everything that doesn't have a high margin, so that improves profitability. And we are improving marketing and how we communicate what we do so that we can charge more for those services because we can better communicate the value that they provide. And that's something that I see every time I launch a new brand or a new branch or department. Margins start out very, very low, and then you optimize and you get to that 50%.
Wow. Okay, I need to ask more because this is the goal. This is what it means to be a sustainable agency. To think like this. So how much? So I took two things out of that you did. I don't know if there's more. So one is you raised prices for things that you found to be higher value, and the second is you cut things that you found to be of low value and high cost. But so how much of your margin growth is from raising prices? Would you say?
It's hard to say. I never really counted that. So just by thinking about it on top of my head, I would say that it's maybe a half and half.
Interesting.
Yeah,
And then,
half from raising prices and half from decreasing costs and optimizing.
and do you do anything operationally that you would highlight as being critical to reducing costs?
Well, there isn't only one strategy because every business is different. So the only thing that I like to do is to iterate very, very quickly. Test something, create a way to test something that can make a large impact. So don't test like the color of the CTA in your landing page. That doesn't matter. Who cares about the color? Make it visible and that's it. So test something that can have a huge impact on the bottom line. Test it very quickly and then either discard it or implement it and go on with the next experiment. So test as quickly as you can the most impactful things that you can think of. And that's the only way to raise the margins and like evolve quickly. Because so many colleagues, so many entrepreneurs either spend months to create, oh yeah, this needs to be perfect before we actually ship it or we to the clients or we change it on the website. No, it doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to test a hypothesis. You can refine it later.
Perfect. That's exactly how SaaS companies think. That's what we used to do. And you're right, agencies are so brand conscious. Like it takes them like 100 years to push out a new homepage, but like it's
yeah. Well, brand is important. It's not that brand isn't important,
no, it's important.
but like it's if you have like a color that is a shade of green, slightly different from the rest of the website, or that one landing page has like a different sans serif character set, like that's not going to impact brand at all.
The brand is more about like how the customer ends up thinking and feeling where you are in their own mind, like positioning, right? And so beyond that, they're not going to care. I mean, there's a little bit of pixel, and if you're a design agency, you have to show that you have some design chops because that's what you're selling. But if you're not a design agency, then it doesn't deeply matter.
And even then, it's all a matter of opportunity cost, right? Like if you are spending 1 month like if you're delaying your test 1 month because you want to make it perfect, it will be more perfect, but you're delaying the test for 1 month, and that's a lot more impactful.
Yeah, well, that's a good lesson for me too, because I have a homepage design I haven't done in a long time, and I should probably get on with it.
Oh yeah, like we all have in our websites and in our businesses a lot of things that are far from perfect, but like what matters is the few things that actually make a difference. 90% of things don't make a difference.
It's true. It's true. I have so many stories from A/B testing. But I was an analytics consultant, so I also learned that people are paying me to run the treadmill, and really, I just like, have you considered talking to a customer and solving problem that they have. Good no.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Qualitative research, not quantitative.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, I gotta ask you something. So you have a really good model, and you have 11 people. Do you want to scale this thing, or are you happy where you are? Is it like the question is like, what do you own as an agency? It's the question we always ask here. And you sound like you own something pretty nice. Is it time to double it, or what are you planning to do with this business?
Well, active powered as it is, of course, I want to scale it, but what I found out is that my efforts matter little. Like the scalability of the brand will come naturally. People like it, people talk about it. We go to marketing events, like live events is by far our best marketing channel after customer support. And there's little for me to do there. And everything I tried to do, yes, it increased something, it made things better, but marginally. For really high scalability, what I've done a few months ago was to take the idea of active campaign, active powered, so customer experience automation with active campaign, and I just created a completely new brand called Desk Hero Agency, which focuses on customer experience automation with Zendesk. So basically doing the same thing. Okay, slightly different because Zendesk has a different average customer. But the same broad strokes, duplicating them on a different brand with a different software. And I could do that because the margins on active powered were high enough to let me invest in this new enterprise, in this new brand. So the idea is to scale through creating a new brand that focuses on Zendesk and customer support rather than active campaign and marketing, because I believe, and I made this mistake in the past as well. Like I'm not perfect. I made this mistake before realizing it was a mistake. What too many brands do is dilute the value of the brand for the sake of expanding. So active powered, okay, it's great with active campaign. Okay, let's expand, let's scale to other software. Let's also do Zendesk. But that's not the active power brand. Active powered is active campaign. It's right there in the name. You can't dilute the brand. It's not expanding the brand. It's diluting the brand.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I created a different brand that only focuses on Zendesk. And I think that's the right way to scale.
100%. This is actually one of the more interesting things that keeps coming up over and over this season, in this podcast. Is so many of the agencies have found that being everything to everyone, all-inclusive, mediocre brand marketing agency. I mean, you're just like you're just promising everything. You're like a handyman, a local neighborhood handyman. You're never going to go to a handyman to do like a big reno of your house, right? Because you're promising to do everything. No one can be good at that, even though it's exactly the same skill. It's the wrong packaging. And so there's this agency. I like this one, Pioche. What I did was Blue Vector. And he said, would you rather hire your all-inclusive marketing company to do your video, or would you rather hire the best video production company in the country? Like, well, the best one. Exactly. So you split the brand up into specific brands. And I think it's come up over and over again is for agencies that are doing it. And so I'm just paying it forward for one podcast to the other, but it seems to be a winning move 100% of the time. You can't do anything else.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You need to be very niche and do one very specific thing. And because we are not in the 1950s anymore, General Motors, like it generally does everything. We are not in that world anymore.
Yes. Well, unless you're buying Samsung appliances for your kitchen, as I learned. They're terrible.
Okay, yeah, that's South Korea. They have their own thing going on, or Honda, or Yamaha.
I'm complaining because my wife and I have experienced the joy of Samsung kitchen appliances lately. It's like, nope, never again. I'll buy an iPhone kitchen next.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind for when I renovate my house.
An Apple fridge. Can you imagine? Anyway, sorry. Anyway, we're at the silly point.
I'd rather not.
We're at the silly
I'm an Android guy.
as you should be, because you're in Finland.
Oh yeah,
So,
by the way, little trivia. People here, very few people have iPhones, like some they do, but not as much in the rest of the world because the iPhone battery really doesn't like the cold.
that's true.
Like when it goes -20, -30, iPhones die and Androids don't. That's
It could
what
also
a
have
lot
something
of
to do with
people have been
Nokia and
telling me.
Ericsson. That might be another couple of reasons why no one in Finland has these phones. But that's a whole other story that I can talk to you about my .com days when I built mobile phone stuff. But we're definitely at the silly point. Stefano, thank you so much. You have such a brilliant business mind about agencies. Thank you for doing this. How do people find you at Active Powered online?
I mean, if you don't speak Italian, I don't know why you would want to find me, especially my business, because we only have Italian customers and we serve Italian customers, sometimes Spanish customers as well, on activepower.com. But if you really want to connect with me for some reason, you can find me on LinkedIn, which is where I think you found me.
Great. And I'm so glad I did because my lord, you are one sharp cookie, I have to say. I really appreciate you doing this, and thank you again. So with that, I'll bid you goodbye, and thank you again. All right, bye, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.
For more great insights on partnerships and software, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.